What's going on, everybody? It is Coach Greg Adams back in here with another YouTube live stream. Shout out to the Coach Gang.
And that's you.
For being in here, being involved, and being active on this YouTube channel. And welcome to a special presentation of the Wake Up Show on Saturday. Yes, this is still part of the Free Agent Lifestyle podcast here on the Free Agent Lifestyle channel. Well, it's the Coach Greg Adams channel. And you're still in here with the Bruce Wayne it is ish, the King of Kings, the King of Content, and the Speaker of Truth, yours truly, the Notorious one, aka Mr. Coach Alini, better known as the Prognosticator, Coach Stradamus. And you're in the Desert Storm bunker with none other than EWF. That is every woman's fantasy in the whole fucking show. I'm the CEO, Niggero, of Fixes Binds LLC. The unbinder, the undebatable, the undisputed best entertainment here on YouTube. You can call me Senor Gregorio Graybeard. The ladies still on Saturday call me Mr. Third Leg Greg.
Leg was just
I'm
phenomenal.
also the man with no trabajo. I am the Mitch Slapper extraordinaire. I am the anointed one.
Acknowledge me.
Also, the founding father of the After Pill, the junior college sociologist, the Morpheus of the Mating Matrix, the chocolatey Confucius, the Black Moses, the deliverer. I'm also the man that walks in the spirit of Elijah. I got one job, one trabajo, and that is to slap Mitches. I got more nicknames than anyone in the game, but in case you forget those names, just call me CGA, See God Allah. And in case you forgot, I be the 14-time demonetized champion of YouTube. We got a special presentation. I know the football game is going to be kicking off. We don't want to interrupt the football game. We'll probably get into the first quarter, and I don't want to make this video very long. I know I do long live streams on the Free Agent Lifestyle channel, the Notorious one, and I'm the best at it, the best entertainment here on YouTube. But I want to make this pretty quickly and try to make this quick. And I want to do 30 minutes, but it's probably going to be an hour. All right. But I really want people to watch and react to this video because most of you millennials and Gen Z have the shortest attention span in the history of time. But the purpose of today's show is not to create beef and dissension. I feel like as the King of Kings himself, I need to actually talk about how the Manosphere destroyed itself. Now, this isn't going to be pointing at any particular content creator. For you to understand, the people in the comment section are going to verify and validate everything that I'm talking about if they disagree with this message. Now, you don't have to agree with it, but it's the way you're going to disagree with it that's going to prove me right. It's going to prove me absolutely right. And who else but the Notorious one can deliver this message, can give you a critical critique of this space in the Manosphere. I've been in this space since 2015. All right. I've been making content. My first video that I made was in the year 2017. And of course, the content didn't take off very aggressively. And I made about 3 videos and one of them got pretty good views and the other 2 did not. And I didn't understand how to make content, just like a lot of people today don't understand the idea of the content creator. You guys are waiting for TikTok to go away so you can laugh all the content creators back to working at Popeyes. But once I figured it out around 2018 as I started to make more and more content, but I've been listening to this space really about 3 years before I started making content myself. Now, that is much different than what we're seeing today. Some people see a couple pieces of videos and then they start making content. All right. And that's going to be one of the issues that we have in this space. But this is a critical critique of this space as it stands for me, watching it going on 10 years, being an active participant for going on 10 years, being in this space since the year 2015 and making content since 2017, and certainly going in making content and the impact in this space since 2018. I'm an elder, an OG. I kind of know more about this space than people who are the loudest and the weakest motherfucking men. I know more about this space than they do. All right. And that's just the bottom line. It's kind of like hip hop. These new heads think they know everything about the space and they don't, nor do they care, which is going to be why the Manosphere is destroying itself. We just don't give any credit or credence to the past. And that's when it's going to be another big issue that I'm going to address. Now, here's the thing. If you want to contribute to today's show, $ the Notorious CGA on the Cash App. It's Venmo, Coach Greg Adams TV. It's PayPal, paypal.me/Coach Greg Adams. And it is near the description box, near the top of the description box on the Free Agent Lifestyle channel. And you can super chat by clicking the link on the top of the live chat on the Coach Greg Adams channel. All right. It's been a while since I put in work over here. As you guys see, many people don't know I have this channel. Many people they're not aware. They watch me on the Free Agent Lifestyle channel. They certainly not aware that I have this channel. And I haven't been active on this channel for 3 years. All right. For people that don't realize, this channel was booming circa 2019, 2020, and 2021. It became fully demonetized since 2021. And from that particular point, this channel gave me a fucking stomach ache. All right. It gave me a stomach ache. All right. It was a very painful thing for me to go through. Not just because of the finances, it was because all of the work that I had put in. And frankly, I was one of the first people since the adpocalypse to be demonetized. So it was a gut punch, and I didn't know what to do with the channel. So what I did was I went over to the Free Agent Lifestyle channel, which I had already had, and there was already about close to 50,000 subscribers over there. It was monetized, and I just went over there. All right. And I put in work for another 2-something years, and I kind of left this channel by itself. It still has 240,000 subscribers roughly, and the subscriber count goes down when you don't post content. Not only that, you can't even search it. All right, on YouTube. If you search my name on YouTube, this channel doesn't come up, and that's simply a part of not being active. All right, for 3 years. I put some replays over here now and then, but it hasn't been a very active channel. So welcome to all the people that didn't know about this channel. I deleted probably 90% of the videos, and after I got demonetized in an attempt to get remonetized, and it just wasn't going to go. This channel forces all my other channels to get demonetized once YouTube figures it out. And we're going to talk about that when we talk about censorship in this case. All right, we're going to talk about that because that's a big point in this space. But let me give up the first point, and a lot of people are going to miss this, but I wish they didn't. But this is a critical critique here, and I'm going to go through some things. I'm going to show some slides about what's going on here. Now, let's see here. Let's see if I can pull this up. I think I supposedly screenshotted something that I was supposed to present. Okay, where did it go? All right, what happened? Okay, I'm still on Wi-Fi. So if I have any problems, I'm still on Wi-Fi here, so I see what happens. I'm going to share this to my other channel or my other computer. And shout out to all the content creators that are out here under their other profile, right? They're under their Sneaky Pete profile. They watch me under their sneak profile all the time. So shout out to you. They're gonna watch this. They're gonna watch this because they're gonna be curious as to what I say, and if I'm gonna be beefing with anyone in particularly. Just know that I'm not here for beef. All right, I ain't here for no damn beef. All right, you know what I got to do? All right, I got to send it to my phone. All right, because I can think because I'm on the live stream. I'm on live. We're doing it live. It's not allowing me to send it. So I'm going to have to send it here. Then I'm going to have to send it to my Mac Studio. There you go. You heard it. All right. You heard it. All right. So now that I sent that, I can switch it off Wi-Fi. All right. It was sometimes I stream on I never stream on Wi-Fi, but I stream after I'm not streaming, I switch it back to Wi-Fi. Just so I can switch files and throw files from one computer to the next. All right, so I don't never stream on Wi-Fi. I just had it on Wi-Fi. I mean, niggas is quick in the comment section, aren't they? All right, so let me go ahead and see if I can share this particular thing real quick. All right, let me open this up because people want to know, and they may not know this, and some of you guys don't care, and I'm going to tell you why you don't care. Is very important. Let's pop this up on the screen. I think we got this on the screen. So I've seen, I'm going to name content creators today. But when I name content creators, I'm not here for beef. Okay. Please understand, for the people that are here, I'm not here to create beef, but I'm going to bring up content creators and shit like this. So I've seen Anthony Johnson. He is 21 Studios. He goes by the president of the Manosphere. Okay. He has a similar chart to this, and he's presented this at the 21 Studios 21 convention, but I didn't use his chart because I couldn't find it very fast. But this is from a research project. A graduate student, who I'm not going to name, has a page or a presentation, a thesis, if you will, of mapping the manosphere. And it's somewhat accurate. So we're going to give it some credibility here. And this is the anti-feminist movement. So breaking down what the manosphere is. Some people will call some things the manosphere. Some things people will call people the red pill. Some people use these terms interchangeably. And also some people will use these terms to say, no, I'm not a part of that. I'm not a part of that. But we're going to show you how people got handicapped and destroyed the manosphere by not being clear of who they were. They're not being clear of who they were. They were very deceptive in who they were. And this is going to be one of the first parts. Okay. So there it is right there. This is mapping the manosphere. I've seen even a manosphere person or a red pill person even have a similar graph. But the first part is you have to understand the manosphere has almost always been known as a collective group of ideas. Okay. If you want to call it the red pill, you could call it the red pill as well. But the red pill also does go outside of the manosphere. There's people that are outside of the manosphere that use the term red pill. But the red pill has almost exclusively been saying, okay, if you're a red pill, you're also under manosphere. Okay, so here it is. At the top, you have in this circle Venn diagram, Kamala Harris will be proud of herself. You have the men's rights movement, which is the MRAs. The MRAs are almost older now. They're mostly boomers or older Gen Xers. Not a lot of people go under the umbrella of the MRA, but circa 2009, 2010, 2011, and even before that, shout out to Paul Elam, the MRA movement almost was exclusively the lead part of the manosphere. Okay, it was the lead part. It was the biggest, most vocal part. Many of them were prior to YouTube, but many of them did migrate to YouTube from blogs, written blogs, and books. Many of them migrated over to YouTube. Now, many of these people did not produce great content, but they had a lot of talking points and instructions. From there, we'll go to the bottom, which is the PUAs, the pickup artists. They are associated with the manosphere. All right. No matter what they say, I'm not in the manosphere. They are in the manosphere. They are in the red pill. Now, the pickup artist was a collective group of people who I call nerds, but I'm not trying to diss. A lot of nerdy guys that basically took the writings and the music of our generation, the 1990s music, pimping. They read a couple of pimp books, and then they also evolved it into a nerd science of approaching women and kind of manipulating women to get dates, or as they say, get laid. All right. So their whole purpose was to get laid. So what their purpose was, they dominated the YouTube space to the point right around 2015, a lot of them started to get television shows. All right. They started to appear at television shows. So pickup artists, no matter how much they say they hate a certain sector of the manosphere, which is going to be critical in my assessment here, they are a part of the manosphere. All right. But unfortunately, they have faced a lot of backlash, in particularly if you take those groups alone, the MRA, they got a lot of backlash, way more than we got today. The pickup artists got a lot of backlash as well because a lot of their tactics were seen as deceptive and manipulative. And also the people that claim to be pickup artists look like a nerd. All right. So it looked weird, the type of guys that were promoting it. It never was guys that look healthy and fit. It was always kind of weird, kind of guys that developed language. They had their own language. And what happened was a lot of women started to get a hold of this information, which a lot of people don't realize. We have infiltration in this space. A lot of women started to watch this, and that is where you started to see a lot of people reject the manosphere. So then you go over to the far left, which would be MGTOW, men going their own way. That really started around 2012, 2013, 2014, with a lot of content creators never showing their face. So a lot of them were undercover. They had superhero names. Many of them were in the shadows. They never showed their face. They kind of hid behind profiles, and they were seen as very extreme. And I've been the one to tell you that MGTOW is definitely a result of the PUA. Okay, so a lot of people won't say it. So there are some groups, involuntary celibate, the incel, which you might say they're not manosphere, they're not red pill, but you have to understand, from the outside looking in, they're manosphere. From the outside looking in their manosphere. So MGTOW essentially was a collective of incels, red pill ragers, MRAs, young MRAs, and men that did not do well with pickup artistry. Men that did not do well with pickup artistry. So some of those MGTOWs were a lot of men that tried pickup artistry and realized it was a crock of shit. All right. And so they migrated over there to say that shit doesn't work. If you guys study the Manosphere, like I have been a student of, a lot of MGTOWs tried to do PUA. They tried to, and they failed, for better or for worse. And a lot of them had a negative reaction to what these guys were teaching. So immediately there is destruction from within. So when I have this assessment, how the Manosphere destroyed itself, there is a lot of destruction from within, and you have these splinter groups that section off that have a completely different purpose. MRAs, these are people that were in their second marriage, or they got screwed after their first marriage. A lot of them are older. MGTOWs at the time tended to be younger men who never married. And so they saw the MRAs and they listened to the MRAs and they gave them a reason to never get married. They also tried pickup artistry and it didn't work. So they migrated to MGTOW. What happened then is you have a group of involuntary celibates, and these men are called incels. Now, this is a pejorative around the world. So anybody in this Venn diagram is liable to be labeled an incel. Okay. If you're associated with any of this shit on this screen, you're at some particular point liable to be labeled an incel. Why? Because it's a pejorative. It's the easy to attack. These men want relationships. They can't get it. Prior to the incel title, they were called True Force Loneliness. They were trying to get into relationships, but they couldn't get into it. Many of these men were angry, bitter, and all of the other terms that you would say. Certainly aggressive and very dominant in the comment section. The MGTOWs, very dominant in the comment section. PUAs, not so much, but they had their own tactics to support. PUAs tended to use a lot of shaming language. All right, you can't get pussy, you can't get hoes, you ain't got game. They tended to focus, the PUAs, not on the men outside of the bubble. The PUAs focused their content to the men inside this Venn diagram. So if any man in this Venn diagram did not subscribe to the PUAs, those men continued to attack the men inside of this bubble. The PUAs would essentially go after the MGTOW, and then the incels, and then the MRAs. All right, you guys just can't have game. You wasn't hitting it right. All right, so the pickup artists would tell the MRAs you wasn't hitting it right. So these were a lot of this dynamics. What's in the middle? We don't care about what's in the middle of the Venn diagram. All right, because that's their own input. But within this as well, you have the Black Manosphere. You have a lot of offshoots. But the Black Manosphere goes in and around this diagram as well, with many of them qualifying for one of these spaces. So if you were Black Manosphere, you could be an incel guy. You could be a guy that was a lame, as they call it, an educated lame. You couldn't get the hot chicks. You were there within the Black Manosphere on the incel side. You might have been a Black Manosphere guy that got divorced. You were on the MRI side. You were closer there. You might have been a guy that, went your own way, and so forth and so on. And you might be a game guy. I got the mouthpiece. I got the game. In the Black Manosphere, you can still exist in this bubble. So I had to talk about the organization, if you will, of how the outside and even men in the inside would diagram what the Manosphere is. Now, unfortunately, most people don't know about that. Most people have no clue that that's how it's been around and how long it's been around. Even content creators, which is going to be a problem. Now, I'm way over time already. Right, I'm way over time. So I got to speed this up. I just had to do that. I got to speed this up because kickoff is about to happen right now. So let's talk about the censorship. The censorship, how the Manosphere started to get destroyed. Many people will say the outside world destroyed the Manosphere, not from within. It was outside. I beg to differ. I think it was a collective effort. But let me just say this. The Manosphere has also been credited, including the Black Manosphere, has been also credited with more or less the election with Donald Trump. All right, whether you like it or not. All right, hold on for a second. Let me stop sharing for a second because I don't know where my damn button is. Where's my button? All right, hold on for a second. Oh, there it is. All right, I see it. All right, for some reason, my screen moved around. So let me pull this up. So in this current or past election, Donald Trump the Manosphere has been credited for at least connecting to Donald Trump. Now, that is because the Manosphere also has been said to have a far-right association. So you see what's going on here. There's a lot of connection here. So as people are saying the Manosphere, let me take this back. People are saying the red pill has died. That's not true. And I'm going to show you why that's not true. It hasn't died. And I'm going to tell you why it hasn't died. I'm going to tell you there's still something here to gain in this so-called space. But unfortunately, you have to deal with lots of censorship. This article was the day after President-elect Donald Trump was elected to his second term. So people are saying the Manosphere is dead, the red pill is dead. I beg to differ. But I'm going to talk about what part of the red pill died. All right, but nobody can talk about this unless you talk about the censorship. So I'm going to be frank and honest. Yes, this is the let me see if I could get the name right of this organization. You know who-ish organization. This is the Southern Poverty Leadership Committee Conference or whatever it is. When you talk about Manosphere, you can't talk about it without using these labels from the outside world. Male supremacy. There's Paul Elam, one of the leaders of the MRA. You have Rouge V, who was one of the associates of the pickup artistry movement, who said himself that game only works on broken women. And you have Mike Cernovich, who was more of a far right. All right. So as you can see, the Manosphere, ideology-wise, all links up together. Now, this is going to be critical when we get to content creators, because content creators are going to try to separate themselves from this, which it didn't work. I said it won't work, but that y'all didn't want to listen to me. And people tend to not want to listen to me because, well, we'll get to you in a minute. But this male supremacy, this is what the Manosphere has been labeled as, and this is why. This is why. Right here, you have what you call counterintelligence. Counterintelligence. If you know anything about any movement, philosophy, group, organization that continues to have a quick rise, you will have this as counterintelligence. You will have discredit, disrupt, and destroy. This is according to FBI records acquired by the Library of Berkeley, Cal Berkeley, talk about the violent surveillance of Black leaders and civil rights organizations. Yes, we are considered somewhat an advocate of rights for men. This is going to be something that they will put a lot of energy in to discredit, disrupt, and destroy. So yes, you will have counterintelligence. I'm going to talk about that in a bit. A lot of your favorite content creators are counterintelligent. Yes, they are. New world order. A lot of your advocates, people that are so-called anti-Manosphere, are counterintelligence. New world order. They have to be labeled as such because they're not promoting. They're like trying to clip farm you in your worst moments. And they're trying to catch you with a ha-ha, gotcha. They're trying to hit you with the gotcha, bitch. All right, these are counterintelligent movements. Many of them are in the shadows. So many of them don't show their face. Many of them might have some Manosphere, a Manosphere exposed type of channel. These are counterintelligence. All right, that's all it is. And we have to label it as such because their job is to be rewarded. We're going to show you this. They're going to be rewarded by YouTube to promote this type of content. They're going to be rewarded by YouTube to promote this type of content. They're going to get in the algorithm. They're going to get suggested in your inbox. People are going to watch it, but it's not all their fault. It's not all their fault. But if you know anything about counterintelligence, it starts very early. So anybody that thinks that they're just starting to do counterintelligence on this space or in the Manosphere, you're wrong. They started very relatively earlier. All right, way before 2018. If you know anything about the apocalypse, the media was already clued in as to do counterintelligence on this space. By the time you got to 2021, you had potential content creators that were counterintelligent. That was their true intent to do what? To discredit to disrupt and destroy. All right. So whatever positive gains that were being made, the immediate result was to perform counterintelligence. And if you know anything about the civil rights movement, as you can see, it said the COINTELPRO was an illegal covert projects conducted by the FBI from when? 1956 to 1971. When did the civil rights movement start? 1955. All right. So it was relatively quick. It didn't take 10 years because, you guys think, oh, it took all these years for them to start it. No, they got on it really relatively quick in this space. Now, let me show you something here. This is also another bit of proof to this censorship. And not to mention, a lot of people have been demonetized, which is proof of a counterintelligence going on. You had this list of the male supremacy list. Now, this goes to show that a lot of people in this space, including content creators, literally try to disengage and walk away from their attachment to the manosphere. However, as I showed you earlier, when you map out the manosphere, they don't get separated. This is going to be how the manosphere destroys itself, because the men on this list, you can probably say, are part of 7 different factions. And please understand, these men, this list goes further than this. This is just the top 10 list. Okay. This is just the top 10 list. There's further people on this list, probably including me and so many other people. Additionally, the people who helped put this list together supposedly had a manosphere presence. If you look at who they used as a source, allegedly it was a YouTuber with over 500,000 subscribers. They didn't name the person. They didn't give us an idea who it was, but they had help of a person either who was anti counterintelligence or inside counterintelligence. Okay. So anybody on this list, you would have people on this list that would say, oh, I'm different from the next person. For instance, Richard Cooper would say he's different than Sandman. Real MTR would say, I'm different than Stephen's Cold. 21 Studios would say, oh, I'm not different. I'm different from, is Rolo on this list? I'm surprised he ain't. But there's another name on this list that I'm surprised that is not on this list, and it is the Whatever Podcast. This goes to show you that there are counterintelligent movements within this. How are they not on this list? On the top 10 list, when they are the ones being credited with being the biggest podcast in this space. So is he on the list? Was Rolo on the list? And I normally don't name content creators, but today I will, just to prove a point. Oh, there it is, the Rational Male. So he is on the list number 4. So there are people, MTR, by the way, a lot of these content creators, I'm going to get to this in a minute. A lot of these content creators are responsible for hit videos on the other content creator. So when I talk about how the manosphere destroyed itself, you could take anybody on this list and go to another name on this list, and you will find that that person did a whole hit video on the other person. Tell me I ain't lying, but that I'm going too far. I'm going too far. I'm trying to clear this shit up. It might take an hour now, but I'm trying to make a point here. As you guys know, I'm the king of kings of this shit. All right. I'm the only one that can do this with clarity. Then you have this as a result. As a result, people get some heat. And because I think the manosphere failed in 2021 to 2023 at its peak, this is why when people say the red pill has died, what they're saying is men are entering the manosphere, then they exit. Why are they exiting is going to be a very critical part of the conversation. It's not because, oh, they're simps, but they miss something that makes sense. Why are men coming and going? All right. And much of them came and went very fast. In fact, you can go on YouTube and you can find a guy that says, I was watching Manosphere content and then I didn't. Right. I stopped. All right. It got too extreme, or it was too much, or something happened, or they were suggested counter videos, Manosphere exposed videos. All right. Particularly Abba and Preach, anybody that was tended to be rewarded for doing counter videos. Now, I'm not saying that these people are government funded. However, can I show you this? I'll slide this up here just so you can see it right here. This one, it says right here, there are 4 strategic outlined strategies outlined into do what? Discredit, disrupt. There's disrupt, right? And divert people to other content. What does it say here? It says right here, placing targeted ads against the creators in question, which they hope will lead to the audience away from the wrong think influencers and towards positive male influencers. What type? These government approved creators and podcasts.
New world order.
So there's no conspiracy here. People are going to say, oh, you're a conspiracy. They literally are saying right here that what they're going to do is they're going to disrupt. They're going to lead you away from the content by going to away from the wrong think influencers and towards positive male influencers that are government approved creators.
New world order.
Okay, so when I say that there are people in the Manosphere that are being promoted, and I'm going to show you that are being promoted to look bad on the Manosphere. Okay, now you're saying I never heard of them. Don't get distracted. Those are the ones they named. There's some people they don't name. For instance, I'm not on the list. You know for sure I should be on the top 10. I don't want to be on the top 10 list, but you know for sure. Just because they're not in the paper doesn't mean that they're not out here. Okay? They're here. They're being promoted. And they're being promoted intentionally. I'm going to prove this point here coming up, but I'm laying out my case. So as a result, what tends to happen is you'll hear some of these content creators before and after the hit list say, I'm done with the Manosphere. I'm leaving the Manosphere. And they'll bring out a long description and they'll create a video as to segregate themselves from the Manosphere. Okay. So, and then they'll say, I didn't leave, I left. He's just one example. There have been several examples of this, but only to happen was, all right, even though they say they left, as a result, they didn't leave, because by the time the damage is done and the smoke clears and their attempts to go ahead and cash in on the peak of the Manosphere, they still ended up on the list. See, this is what I said a long time ago. I said this before 2020. I said a lot of these guys think they're different. And I said, but from the outside looking in, they're the same. Okay, right? They'll say, I left the Manosphere. This guy said it. That guy said it. All right. There's a bunch of people that said it. And guess what? It didn't work. Your ass still ended up on the list. So how did you leave? See, what happened was they tried to get in on his peak, but when it started to decline, the peak started to decline. We're just going back to surface level. But when the peak started to decline, they tried to get out. All right. They tried to be like, dope. I ain't in it. But let's go back to the chart because I'm making a point here. Let's go back to this chart. If you are in this diagram, you are considered Manosphere, no matter what. So if you try to capitalize on it, if your content was suggested as it, if you rose up in the algorithm, if you hit the high subscribers, if you associated with another Manosphere member, if you did a podcast with one, you can't run, you can't hide. This is why I say the Manosphere destroyed itself. Because instead of doubling down, organizing, getting ready, and say, hey, we knew this was coming. Instead, they tried to ride the wave of Kevin Samuels and the high algorithm, fresh and fit. They tried to ride the wave. And then when the wave got when the waves got bumpy, they tried to skedaddle. That's how the Manosphere destroyed itself. This is going to be a very critical point because the Manosphere and the red pill, if you will, had the internet in a chokehold from 2021 to 2023. From 2021 to 2023, the Manosphere had the whole internet in a chokehold. That was the peak of the Manosphere, and that is when people say the Manosphere was at its rise. That's when people say the Manosphere or the red pill died, it died from the peak. It's still alive and vital. People still have good information to pass. It's still alive. And the next part of it is it's still alive because The modern day media pretty much strip mined the Manosphere. They basically came in and said, well, they have some valuable things to offer. We'll just take that. Now, Instagram and any new content creator can get away with saying those talking points. Those talking points are allowed to be said. Prior to 2021, you would be demonetized, the platform, and your account would be banned because you were on the list. But now the mainstream has basically took the good stuff from the Manosphere or the red pill, and they took it, and now it's commonplace. People basically can say whatever they want to say, right? They can just go ahead and put it out there, and you will not get banned or flagged, which in 2019, 2020, you would get banned and flagged. Other than that, this is where the Manosphere has kneecapped itself because they didn't progress past that. You guys still wanted to ride on those old talking points. And now you have nothing to offer. Now, let me get to the next talking point, and then I'll get to the super chats. But don't worry about supporting today. I just want to get this message out. The next way the Manosphere destroyed itself from the peak, remember, you clear your ears out. I'm talking about the peak. The peak was 2021 to 2023. That is how even the normies who react to Manosphere content, they almost inevitably never go back to 2021. They almost always start at any podcaster that was in 2021. That nobody creates, nobody goes back and looks at Sandman's video from 2017. Nobody goes back and say, hey, there's this guy named Sandman. That Manosphere doesn't exist. All right, that Manosphere doesn't exist. Nobody's even talking about that part, even to the point most people don't even know about these people. And there's a reason why. And I'm going to talk about this now. There is a reason why. Okay. The reason why is you have content pirates. Now, everybody possibly could be accused of this thing right here, but content pirates. You can call them content thieves. You can call it whatever you want to call it. We'll just use the term pirates. Pirates are content creators that came in during the peak, or they saw the rise of the Manosphere and they said, hey, I can make content too. I can make content too. I can do this too. They saw Fresh and Fit rise. They saw Kevin Samuels rise. In fact, I was ahead of all of them in 2019. That was my peak. 2019, I beat all of them to 100K. By the time 2021 comes around, I'm demonetized and they pass me up. So I'm a little bit older in this space. I'm in kind of the second wave. The 2021, 22, 23 content creators are in the third wave, if you will. Now, what happened was content creators would come along and basically cherry pick the most popular content form. And then what they would do, which is always common, which I'm looking around YouTube, we see this all around YouTube. Sometimes they give credit to the people before them. What messed up the Manosphere is that they didn't give credit to the content creators before. So people would come in here, they would listen for a couple of weeks, they would turn their camera on and repeat exactly or copy the exact format of someone previous. Now, everybody is guilty of this to an extent because we're all kind of sharing the same talking point. There's only so many talking points. And sometimes somebody doesn't get appropriate credit. But what they do is they remix it. For instance, I've even heard Kevin Samuels say, I'm going to quote from a book, but I'm not going to give credit to the person who wrote the book because I don't like the person. So even Kevin Samuels did it. And by virtue of that, I stopped listening to him at that point. It wasn't the hate. It wasn't jealousy. When he did that, I lost it. I was like, this is incredible. Now, everybody, again, is culpable in this one. But let me give you an example. The example is this guy right here, which you will have even counterintelligence. He might qualify as this. This guy right here is named Brian. Brian is associated with the whatever podcast, possibly the founder of it. I have no idea, but he's got these founders of these movements here. I don't even know what this stuff is. I don't watch them, never watched them, but I see his clips come across the screen all the time. And I have to ask myself, I often wondered why in the world, and this is what I wondered. I said, where did he come from? Right? Where did he come from all of a sudden? Then I look up and it's like 4 million subs. I'm like,
Straight jacket.
I'm like, this is weird. This is weird. I was like, I never heard of the guy. He's not giving credit to anybody in this space and essentially just copy Fresh and Fit. Now, when I talk about counterintelligence, it doesn't mean it's government funded, but this to me reeks, it's weird. I was like, this is weird that he just boom, just skyrocketed up. And I'm like, what happened? Well, I did a little bit of research, found out he's been a content creator on YouTube for quite a long time. He's been a content creator for quite a long time. In fact, he has a 1 million subscriber plaque in 2020. 2020. And at the time, and this is no shade at him, at the time, he's doing skits. He's not doing Red Pill content. He didn't arrive at Red Pill and got up to 1 million. He kind of was already in the YouTube algorithm. He's doing, what is he doing? He's doing skits. There he is dressed up like a fairy. You'll see it here. You see that? That's your boy, so-called. Why isn't he on the list? That's him right here. And I'm just using him as an example. I'm just using him as an example. This is so-called some of y'all hero. I'm not trying to create beef, but I got to say, what the fuck is going on here? You got to realize I've been in this space since 2015. Where did he come from? Right? He's dressing up. He's doing skits. He's not building his audience off of Manosphere talking points of Red Pill. His audience was already built. He's doing Marty McFly right here. Now, I'm just trying to show you that later on, this nigga end up growing a beard, all right? And now he's the face of the Manosphere, and he's getting a free pass. Now, when I said to you earlier, something is not adding up. When I talked about counterintelligence, when I talked about this list, when I talked about YouTube is intentionally diverting content from certain people, they admit it right here. Right there. To divert audiences away, lead audience away from wrong think influencers, so-called Manosphere creators, and towards positive male influencers or any other program that makes the Manosphere look bad. Wouldn't this qualify as it? Wouldn't this qualify as it? You're like, how did this happen? Now, hold on. I'm going to show you something here. Wouldn't that qualify as counterintelligent? Listen to this woman here. Her name is Brett Cooper. This is Brett Cooper right here. Okay. This is Brett Cooper. Listen to what she says here. She is reviewing a New York Times article on the Whatever podcast. All of a sudden, I've been in it's the New York Post. The New York Post tends to cover many Manosphere people. I've been covered in the Post negatively about myself, and a lot of people have. But the New York Post wrote an article, said, making hot girls look dumb. Listen to what she says here, and this will point out what I'm talking about content pirates. Okay? I have another point on this one, but bear with me. Okay? Bear with me. Let's go ahead and play this clip. Listen to what she says.
A few days ago, making women look dumb is a disturbing new podcast trend. Now, they are specifically pointing out the Whatever podcast, but the Whatever podcast is not the only podcast of this genre. Fresh and Fit, I think, was the first of this kind. I think Whatever is maybe, I don't know, it shows up more on my timeline and on my For You page. I don't see as many Fresh and Fit clips.
Did you hear that? I'm going to play it again. Now, people, you men that are going to respond, you're going to respond exactly how I think you're going to respond, and you're going to be the problem. You're one of the problems in this space. I want you to play that back again. Play that back again. Remember when I showed you counterintelligence is leading viewers away from this content to that content. So why doesn't CGA have 1 million? Why doesn't Angry Man have 1 million? Well, they're being led away from it, but what's being put in front is this content. I'm gonna play it again. Why isn't she seeing Fresh and Fit content? Okay. Why isn't she seeing Fresh and Fit was, I think, the first one to a million. Well, Kevin Samuels was. Why isn't she seeing Fresh and Fit? She was like, oh, it doesn't show up much in my algorithm. Now, of course, everybody's algorithm's different. People, she's a woman. She's not black. She's not minority. Fresh and Fit are. But this guy, Brian's content is all of a sudden all over her goddamn algorithm. Why? Why is it always in her suggestion box and Fresh and Fit is not? Remember, go back to what that article said about government sanction, leading people away from content. Go back to it. No, Fresh and Fit was not demonetized at the time. Fresh and Fit was not demonetized at the time. This video is over 2 years ago. Whenever you see 1 year, this video could have been 2 years old. Okay, it says 1 year ago. So that could be 1 year and 11 months. Fresh and Fit is just recently demonetized. So this video goes back way prior to Fresh and Fit being demonetized. Okay. It goes back way prior. Why is that the case? You have to really question this. I question a lot of things and go, how in the world does she not see Fresh and Fit come up in her goddamn suggestion box? Right. But the other podcast, she does. All right. How is that the case? Now, remember, people are always going to say, well, they don't know their facts. Remember, most people don't know anything about the Manosphere prior to 2021. And even then, they don't know. They're not watching it every day. So they don't care who's first or who last. It's irrelevant to them. So she's just making a commentary on what she possibly knows. Okay.
Specifically pointing out the Whatever podcast, but the Whatever podcast is not the only podcast of this genre. Fresh and Fit, I think, was the first of this kind. I think Whatever is maybe, I don't know, it shows up more on my timeline and on my For You page. I don't see as many Fresh and Fit clips, but I know that it is still around. But they are specifically nitpicking Whatever podcast. Anyway,
I'll just stop it at that. Now, for people still making excuses, I laid out my case. People are intentionally getting diverted away from specific content. And I got men in here that's still going to come up with 50, 11 excuses. And actually, it's called diverting hate. And y'all still going to make excuses. Look, we still got somebody here. It was that long ago. Demonetization. No, the Fresh and Fit clips is literally right here on the list. You know who ain't on this list? Whatever podcast. So y'all can make every excuse in the book to try to figure out why that's the case. But it's not an argument. They literally were diverted away specifically from this group of people on the list. Okay. And suggested other stuff, which includes government approved content creators. Make every excuse you want in the book. There's no argument. And I'm not even here to argue. So if you're here to argue, go fucking kick rocks. All right. I'm laying out my case. My case is ironclad. My case is ironclad. It is what it is. You like how nobody knows about CGA? Pretty clear. It ain't coming up in Brett Cooper's. It ain't coming up in her suggestion. Now, the last point about this content creator pirates. This is a critical mistake when you think about the message. What is the message? Men, helping men, male improvement, exposing the secrets of marriage and divorce, cohabitation, the laws. If men are being diverted away from this intentionally, but the new content creators come up and give no historical fact of where they got their data, where they got their information. Who did you hear from? Who do you know of beforehand? What people do is they'll jump on YouTube and they'll start saying things like, men are in love, women are in business. All men pay. All right. They'll start saying shit that they clearly heard somebody else say. I mean, clearly it is straight jack. This is one of the weakest parts of this space is that they don't build on anyone else's shit. What they do is them motherfuckers will fire up their camera, start talking word for word, bar for bar, straight jack, exactly like 10 other niggas they done seen, and they won't mention nobody before them. Right? And listen, all of us are guilty of this to an extent, but it's extreme plagiarism, and that discredits the space, because then people say, oh, this guy's a genius. Oh, this guy's a genius. He preaching, he cooking, they'll crown him Godfather, King, and then the other person don't exist. So they'll copy not only the format, and then what they'll do is they'll just essentially act like they created all of the content. They did all of the research, all of the data and the stats, but they just simply watch someone before them for years, for weeks, for months, repetitively, over and over again, till they sound like that person. They'll fire up their content, never mentioned a person before, whatever podcast. I'm pretty suspect that they haven't mentioned anybody in the red pill space before. Why? They're not a part of the space. I've proven it. They're not a part of the space. They basically saw Fresh and Fit pop off. And then what do? They don't know shit about anything before 2021 in this space, and they think they're creating some content. They think that they're creating a mark. They think I'm making an impact, telling people the truth. When essentially he's reading off a computer. This nigga got his computer up all the time, just reading word verbatim what's on the computer. He's not coming off critically as he knows and aware, and why. He's not. And these are just clips that I've seen him do. All right. This is why I've never reacted. These people are coming in and just pirating the space with no Alan Roger Curry, right? No credit to Alan Roger Curry. No credit to Paul Proteus. No credit to David Carroll. No credit to Sandman. No credit to anybody before. Anybody before does not exist. Just them. You see what I mean? Like, this is where the Manosphere died, and I'm way over time. So let me get to the next one here. I appreciate the supporters. Please don't feel like you have to make a lot of commentary and support. All right. The next one is going to be the lack of creativity amongst the content creators. What happened because of the peak 2021 to 2023 when the Manosphere had the world in a chokehold? Kevin Samuels had the world on a damn on a heart machine. He was taking the world by storm, and nobody had any objections that were legitimately to stop them. It had to be government intervention and counterintelligence and people coming up pirating to stop it. But the content creators themselves started to not invest. And here's the problem with this. They started to do it cheaply. What happened? What became popular? Reaction videos. And that was right after the explosion of TikTok and Kevin Samuels. So how content creators came up was to just watch content creation by Fresh and Fit and review it. And then they would watch Kevin Samuels from the previous night and review it. And then they would put together a string of TikToks and review it with no teaching, no message, no principles, nothing. They simply were lazy because they saw an easy way to get a rise in subs. And that became what everybody started to chase, because the content creators started to jockey for position. They started to beef, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Because now it became, who's the next? The content creators. Why not me? Why this guy getting views and why I'm not? Why this guy got 100,000 subs and I don't? So the content creators started to go, okay, we could cheapen up the message. This is when we saw people dropping 5 videos a day. 5 videos a day. Now, before 2021, people would put 1 video out. 1. By 2023, it was commonplace. 5 clips, 2 8-hour live streams, 8 shorts. Niggas started to be like, oh shit, it's an arms race. So the lack of creativity was like, let's produce the easiest amount of content. How can I do that? We just gonna fucking take the algorithm. We just gonna pound the algorithm. And that gave the space more exposure. People's sub counts went through the roof. And then now people said, oh shit, okay, I gotta just make car videos and react to videos. Like, this did not help the space. And it eventually led to people getting more info than they normally would have had, more polarizing clips, more clip farming, more Manosphere exposed, more of those type of content. Nobody was exposing the Manosphere very much until this point. All right, where the creativity got low, nobody invested, nobody supported any other content creators becoming the top dog. We're going to talk about that next because I'm trying to rush through this. So then you had people who was basically doing live streams, streaming reactions to content creators, all right? And it's like, whoa, god dang. Like, okay, and all we would see is the same thing. Kevin Samuel said, Myron kicked out this bitch, all right? And it was just a reaction to that. This was the anti-counterintelligent movement in the space. Then it was also the content creators themselves, okay? Then it was that. So then it was the how to produce the most and easiest amount of content, reactions, in particularly car videos. But here's the problem. YouTube as a whole took off. Like there were YouTubers that came in around that time that built an entire platform. And because they didn't have counterintelligence and censorship, because they were focused on YouTube being a business, these people created whole businesses around their YouTube where the Manosphere didn't. Let me show you an example. This is Super Carblon, and there's a lot of people you can show. Kai Cenat, streamers, people built businesses around their YouTube, whereas the Manosphere, they basically prevented people from building business around their YouTube because we were so-called helping men. Showing you an example.
Now guys, this is where all the back-end stuff happens. This is actually where the magic happens. Welcome to the office.
Where is the Manosphere version of this? Where's the Manosphere version of this? Where's the Manosphere version of we're going to build a business around this and we're going to have an office and we're going to have a studio and shit in there? Well, anybody who attempted to do this fell into the next category, which is the competition between content creators. Now, this space saw more diss videos from content creator to content creator before Abbott and Preach started dissing the Manosphere. I'm going to say it again. My man said a team for what? That's what I'm talking about. My man said, what do you need a team for? That is why the Manosphere destroyed itself, because you guys are so motherfucking you guys are not self-aware. If you want to legitimize anything, you have to keep up with the competition. Any content creator that tried to build a team, it was successfully torn apart from the content creators. You cannot be serious making car videos and reaction videos. That's exactly why the Manosphere destroyed itself. You never wanted to be bigger and legitimate. You always wanted it to be illegitimate for your own personal reasons. Why? Because you're a loser, because you're unsuccessful. You cannot have this space continue for 10 or 15 years and you're doing reaction videos and car videos. You can't do it. You destroyed yourself. You destroyed yourself. All right. And listen, if you're critical of what I'm saying here, you better have a profile picture and some evidence behind it. Like I said, we're all guilty of this. So I made diss videos on other people. I made a diss video on Rich Cooper in 2019. Nobody's saying that I didn't do any of these things. I said we're a part of the Manosphere. But guys, this is another reason you're seeing this. These men are going to prove me right as to why this space destroyed itself. Because these people are the reason why. In the comment section, they're going to prove exactly why this space destroyed itself. These small thinkers, oh, you did, and pointing the finger. You're going to show, I'm going to lay out the case why this space destroyed itself. Because you guys wanted it to always be car videos. You guys wanted to be always in the shadow. You guys always wanted to be, oh, we're just helping men for free. And listen, YouTube became a business. The Manosphere never took it that way. Any content creator that took it as a business, it was destroyed by the Manosphere. Let me give you an example. Pearl made it a business. Myron made it a business. They hired a whole team of people. You guys criticized them for that. You guys criticized Pearl for that, the 360 content deal. It wasn't Abbott and Preach that did it. It wasn't Abba and Preach who did it. Now, you can blame Abba and Preach for attacking the so-called Manosphere. They really only attacked 4 people: Myron, Donovan, Darius, and Pearl. That's it. I guarantee you, and I'm going to make you guys type this in, and I want you to prove my point. All right? I want you to prove my point. This is going to prove my point. Type in any content creator within the Manosphere that had beef. Type it in. This is going to prove my point. You guys want to say YouTube and censorship and terms of services, and you guys are just trying to distract yourself from this truth. But I'm going to prove that there are people, and even to me, and then even include who they were beefing against. Before Abba and Preach ever cut one video, and I'm going to prove you, it was the Manosphere people attacking other Manosphere people. In fact, Abba and Preach reacted to one Manosphere person attacking another. They reacted to another Manosphere person cutting a piece of content that was very, very thorough. And that's what they used against the Manosphere. See, you can say whatever you want, but I'm ironing out this case. Nobody else is going to iron this case, and nobody has the fucking guts to approach this conversation. When you talk about who did the worst damage from the content creators, it is not the government sponsor. It is not the outside world. It is not the censorship. It literally was everybody versus everybody. Everybody else versus everybody. Then those pieces of content were used by the outside world to attack the Manosphere and the Red Pill. Tell me I ain't lying. Tell me I ain't lying. And hey, I ain't got no control over this. I'm just telling you the truth. You can go from one content creator to the next. And then this brings up the next point. Why don't we see the rise of the legitimacy of the message, where we got offices and people working for us and people being able to put out and dissect good content instead of niggas in they hat? This is what I see. Niggas in they hat in the fucking basement doing reaction videos. All right. And they in the corner down in the fucking box like this. Okay. Now I've got the reaction videos. I didn't say they in the corner in a box and they just sitting there in a goddamn musty t-shirt. All right. Reacting to videos. Instead of going, we gonna take it to the next motherfucking level. They just sit there and let the video run for 15 minutes and provide 2 pieces of commentary to the motherfucker. But you're saying, why do we need teams? Why do we need legitimacy? Why do we need a growth? Why do we need a content creator? So then what happens is everybody calls each other grifters. Now everybody's a grifter. Why? Because they want to get up. They want to win, and they're giving you vital information. You guys will watch people for 50 hours a fucking week and then call them a grifter when they want to get one motherfucking book sold. But guess what? The rest of YouTube figured out YouTube was a business, except the Manosphere. Except the Manosphere. The Manosphere still wanted to be on some, hey, we just gonna come out here and talk shit on the internet. Now, the same people that took the guts to show their face, some of their name, and you guys will look up their history, look up their job history, and go back and look up all of their shit, and then don't want the nigga to eat. Then you don't want the nigga to eat. Let me give you an example. And again, I told you, some content creators will have to be used to further my message. But this is no dissent. This is one content creator literally going in on another one. Now, you can take sides. That's going to be my last point. That's going to be my last point. We're not going to talk about who did what and who deserved to be attacked. We're going to talk about what happened during the critical part of 2021 to 2023, where everybody could have said, let's eat. We did it. Here's an example.
Story with Fresh and Fit, because on your own, it's really kind of hard to talk about you. outside of you having COVID maybe, and your beef with Steve Dean, something like that, it's really hard to say about, nobody cares about what Donald Trump is doing. To be honest, nobody does. If you want to be real, okay, you're not a real mover and shaker in this shit anymore. Not in the black manosphere. Your name is trash over here. We already know your name is trash in the white manosphere. Just type in Donovan Sharp scam. Like, typing sounds, please. Like, type in Donovan Sharp scam in your YouTube search bar, and then you'll see how they feel about you over there. Okay?
That's just an example. And he ain't the only one. He's not the only one. Everybody's guilty of this in this space. Everybody has done this to a certain extent. Now, I've tried to not do it so much. I tried to be like, well, I ain't going to do it that much. All right. And I'll sneak this. All right. But I didn't cut all kind of full content on people. But I saw people cutting full videos on people. All right. The whole time. 2020, 2022, 2021, 2022, 2023. Now, who was cutting full content on people? The Manosphere. It wasn't Admin and Preach. Admin and Preach really got on it in 2023 with Pearl and Myron. And before that, they got on Darius. But Darius went back to go to work. He said, fuck it. You see what I'm saying? But what I'm talking about is you guys want to blame the outside world. I'm saying take a look at inside world. It is the inside world. And let's get to the last point. And I swear I will get to the comments. The last point is the weak Mitches. Yes, you guys, the viewers. It's the men stuck in red pill rage way too motherfucking long. Now, this group of people, amongst the content creators, the content thieves, the censorship, everybody's culpable in this. But this group of people right here, these motherfuckers been watching content since 2015 straight. And these motherfuckers ain't made one move in their life. These guys right here, they didn't boss up one time. Niggas ain't rose their salary up. They ain't move out of their mama house. These guys right here, the red pill ragers, been raging for 15 minutes doing car videos. The same content creator been doing car videos for 8 years. They ain't sent in a super chat. They ain't sent in one piece of money. And they've been watching people for 8 years straight. Ain't sent in no support. They don't want a nigga to get a watch, a car. They don't want nobody to do shit. All right. They want to be everybody stuck in a limbo. So why do Fresh and Fit got to be the ones? That's the same as the content creators. Why Fresh and Fit got to be the one to 1 million? Why ain't I on 1 million? Why not? I'm not getting invited to Timcast. Well, you ain't playing the game. Fresh and Fit paid to get on Timcast the first time, but that's neither here nor there. And he realized that was a market. I'm going to have to spend money to get exposure. But you not spending no money. How come I can't afford an editor? Because your bitch ass ninja ain't spending no money. Now, how come I can't get bitches? All right, because you ain't spending no money. Now, I'm trying to tell you how the world works, and you're trying to tell me how 1990 worked. It's these guys right here. What's wrong with these guys? These guys are the loudest motherfuckers in everybody comment section. They the first to the comment section. They the loudest. They the wrongest. And they the red pill ragingest. Not only are they the first people to your comment section, they're the first people to everybody's comment section. If I share a video about one woman, they don't comment on my video. They go to her video and they go in there with their red pill rage. Now, this space cannot be seen as the predominant people in this space, the ragers. It can't be. It's only so much rage you got. And I tried to help you guys. I put out videos on how to progress out of the rage. The rage is not a permanent stage. It is a part of the stage. But of course, people don't want to hear that shit. These people drum up beef. The most videos they watch got drama between one content creator and the other. They're the ones talking about it. They're the ones reacting to it. They're the ones pocket watching. They're the ones increasing the drama. They're the ones not sharing your content. They're the ones not supporting. They're the ones not telling you to grow. They're the ones telling you don't need a watch. They're the one telling you don't need a Porsche coach. They're the ones. The weakest men with the loudest motherfucking voice and the heaviest keyboard. Then men come in here. This is why when I showed you this, This thorough. What about this breakdown? Isn't this the most thorough fucking breakdown you heard of this space? Now, I want people to react to this video, but of course, I'm so fucking thorough, they don't want to react. This article right here by Forbes magazine says why men enter and exit the manosphere. One thing they're pointing out is that when they get here, a man goes through a divorce. A man, breaks up with his girlfriend. Okay. A man, does something, and then he finds CGA. He's lucky to find Myron. He's lucky to find anybody. Ringo. Don't get caught up in who I'm naming in my allegiance, but I'll break that down. He's lucky to find this space. But when he gets here, is he welcome? No. We chase him out. We tell him he don't need a watch. We tell him stay minimal. We tell him don't boss up. We tell him you a simp. We tell him you a bitch ass nigga. And who's the one saying it? The niggas that don't want the content creator themselves to level up, even though he's put his face, his name, image, and likeness out here. Soon as the content creator started leveling up in life, snatch them down to the point where they say, don't share your successes. Don't brag. Who is these guys? It's the Mitches. The Mitches. They don't want to see you do better. They don't want to see the man do better. They don't want to see the content creator do better. They want everybody else to be stuck in limbo. And shout out to them. It is what it is. I'm telling you, you need to help yourself. You can't stay there, bro. These are the guys calling niggas simps, tricks, all of these guys. They just red pill ragers. They're just raging. And the rage is cool. I said the rage is cool, but you can't be stuck there. Can't be stuck there. At some particular point, it's got to elevate past that. And it can't be the predominant voice in the space. It can't be the loudest voice. Because what will happen is people will come in, and they came in droves. Kevin Samuels was responsible by himself to increase the views increase the message in the manosphere. He rose from the ashes and he passed everybody. You had to let him run with it. But what happened was they attacked Kevin. And then when the audience started to go in and watch Kevin, that was the point for the manosphere to take off. But what happened? These guys stuck in red pill rage dragged it back down. We need to take it back to car videos. Nobody needs to get paid, but we're going to watch this all day long, but we're not going to contribute. This is why the manosphere destroyed itself, because the rest of YouTube figured it out. We can get businesses. We can employ people. We can actually create a ecosystem around the message, around the structure, around people, and employ people. Imagine the person that said, why do you need a team? Some of these content creators could have hired you. You're working at Jiffy Lube and motherfucking Wiener Schnitzel, but you could have been hired to make everybody's content better. And everybody could have thought, hey, CGA, you got a powerful voice and message. You just focus on that while we focus on your thumbnails. We focus on this. But nah, niggas got to do a one-man band. And then you don't want to even contribute to that. And then you want us to just stay in limbo. Why do you need a team? Why do you need a business? We could have created jobs, ecosystems, and then made it the message legitimate. Nope. Nope. You literally said, no, that's not what we want here. That's not what it's supposed to be about. It ain't supposed to be about that. Yet the rest of YouTube figured it out, except this space right here. This space did not figure it out. And it actually made people hate you more. So the viewer, these people in category 5, yes, category 5, they hated any content creator that was able to get that message. And I said this, these people will take down the manosphere. Who heard me say this in 2020? I said, this group of people will destroy the manosphere before the feminists do. I said this back then, and you can include the content creators in this space for this exact thing. These people destroyed the manosphere way more than the outside world. And I'll give you another chance again to prove it. Type in as many content creator beefs and people building channels on beefing with content creators. They came from nothing. Their whole channel is fucking beefing with content creators in this space. I don't really see that too much In the outside world of YouTube, although it does exist, you have CoffeeZilla and you have a whole bunch of people that dissect other people. Yes, it happens, but it's not their people they're dissecting. They're dissecting someone from the outside, not from the inside. In the inside, the Manosphere is the ones that conquered destroying another Manosphere content creator. This is undisputed. Undisputed. This is an undisputed fact. While them saying I'm not in the Manosphere at the same time, how are they constantly watching you and then saying they're not a part of the message? You have to really think about this hard. Now, I laid out my case. I don't want to take up too much of your time on Saturday, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over to the support. If you felt like supporting on a Saturday, I appreciate it. You didn't have to do it. All right, but I'm going to jump over to the support, but I want you guys to have your Saturday. I want my Saturday too. All right, because I got Calico coming through here too. And again, let me say this. I'm not perfect either. You can certainly peg me in any one of these groups. I'm pretty sure you could be like, there's a reason why. Hey, listen, that's fine. We're not talking about why CGA is immune from this, why CGA didn't do it and everybody else did it. I said the Manosphere as a whole. So everybody's culpable and responsible for it. Everybody's a part of it. Everybody's responsible for it if you want to actually progress and go forward. And I challenge the content creators. I challenge the red pill ragers. I challenge everybody that if indeed you wanted to actually have something important in this space, to actually flip your flip your mindset in 2025. The reason why I kept this message I saved this for 2025 to see if y'all actually wanted to do it. If you wanted to evolve, if you wanted to actually get legitimate against all of this censorship, against all of the feminazis, against all of you really got to look within inside yourself and say, hey, do you want to or not? If you don't want to, you need to align yourself in the line of Mitches and losers. You need to say, I want to be a loser. Fuck everybody else. And you need to identify yourself with a big fat L on your forehead. If you want a dub, because a lot of people came in this space and they wanted to get a message. If you want to win, line up over there. If you want to be a bitch ass nigga and drama and beef and only watch drama and beef and tell niggas they can't go to Brazil, can't go to Thailand, if you still stuck on sipping and tricking, stay over there. Stay over there. Separate yourself with a big fucking L on your forehead. You want to lose. You're a bitch ass nigga. You want drama. You a Mitch. Stay over there. We need to really separate, in my opinion, since I'm the king of kings of this shit. In my opinion, we need to separate the group of people in this space. We need to identify them and say, oh, you want some bitch ninja shit. You want some Mitch shit. All right. In the comment section. But y'all won't do it because y'all won't even give me credit for my motherfucking wonderful sayings I brought to this space. But that's neither here nor there. I'm in the Urban Dictionary on shit and y'all still claiming it for yourselves. But this group needs to be really separated again and recategorize what we got going on here. What are we really trying to do here? You know, people are going to say, oh, you trying to just, I don't know what people are going to say. People are going to prove by the way, people are going to prove my point in the comment section because they're going to still stuck on some red pill raid shit. They still going to be on some raid shit, some 2016 red pill shit. All right, go ahead. Well, Kai Cenat and everybody else getting deals out here. And you can be a part of that too, but you don't want to because Wiener Schnitzel shift is starting. All right, I get it. You still working at Wiener Schnitzel after 8 years. You're the assistant manager. Okay, stay the assistant manager at Wiener Schnitzel. Me, on the other hand, there's some other people that don't want to be the assistant manager at Wiener Schnitzel anymore or Jiffy Lube. Nobody wants to be there anymore. So let the people that don't want to be the GM at motherfucking Jiffy Lube, let them grow, and you stay over there at Wiener Schnitzel, dropping fries. We need to get you floor manager, dropping fly ass niggas to be over here. All right, go stay over here, car video content creator. Niggas be making content creator car videos for 10 years, and they be talking cash shit about people with studios. They invested tens and thousands of dollars in equipment, and they have the nerve to open their goddamn mouth, and you still making car videos. Nigga, if you don't sit your monkey ass down, okay, let me stop. I was going to not rage out. I was not going to rant. But if you want to be that guy, stay over there and don't bring up the other people that's trying to get a dub. Okay, I wasn't going to rant. Man, please do not send any more super chats because I got to go. I gotta go, but y'all in here with the support. Shout out to our brother Clem Pont says, Coach, he says your Mitch slapping sessions are the best. Always get me thinking I need to do and work harder and do better. As always, appreciate the wisdom. And that's a co-sponsorship. Appreciate you, sir. Where we at here?
I'm rich, bitch.
All right. Hey, Fresh CEO says, stay over there. That was what Fresh said. Stay over there. Stay over there. If you want to stay in 2016, stay over there. Do not come over here with the 2025 shit. Welcome to Normie Bill says, Coach, you've been cooking with fish grease on these Mitches in 2025 early. He says, please cook the RP for going and getting in their own way. Getting in their own way. Coach Gang for life. And people really have to look at it and say, listen. This space has literally been on the radar for 10 years. 10 years. There's YouTube communities that literally had a niche for 4 years or less. And they killing it. Where's this space at? Who's the dominant number numerical in this space? Kevin Samuels was. He died. Fresh and Fit was. All right. Who's got the numbers now? And don't say whatever podcast already broke their ass down like a fraction. They're not in the space. All right. They've been sent here to destroy the space. The whatever podcast, I proved unequivocally that they're counterintelligence. All right. He's a content pirate. All right. He's illegitimate child of the red pill space. He's an illegitimate child. So do not bring up them motherfuckers ever on my show. All right. Them ninjas are illegitimate in my point. All right. They qualify for everything I say in here. And by the way, they feed you Mitch food. They feed you Mitch food on a platter. All right. Yeah. All right. Anyway. Shout out to the Working Man Podcast. Shout out to you. I already said you, the Working Man Podcast. The Working Man Podcast. J Flow. He says, I thought I was going to have to spend time with my wife, and CGA came through in the 9th inning. Salute, Coach, and shout out to the Coach Gang. Mikey says, like you, I'm also working on a Saturday. Thank you for this special, important presentation. Let's see who accepts the challenge and makes the content better. I guarantee you this, by the way, this has had almost 1,800 live viewers. And it's going to have less viewers on the replay because it's so long. Mitch has got short attention spans. But this would be one of those videos that they would be like, Coach, he going in on his own audience. I bet you they don't. All right, because I gave critical critique of the entire space. Somebody's got to react to this and go, you know, that nigga was right. Anybody that reacts to this in this space as a content creator and said I was tripping, they qualify in the group number 5. They're going to prove my point. Will Life says 15 years married and in the investment phase. Please listen to CGA. The marriage will is undefeated. A Jedi says couple of beers on me for the game. Appreciate the grind. Shout out to you. Blue Bagger says, I found the Manosphere in 2012 on a trip to the Philippines when I came across Roosh V Forum and Return of Kings. He says, who'da thunk it be mainstream and full of Mitch ass ninjas all these years later? Didn't progress. Smart RN1 says, I have the game on mute. I'm listening to my coach. Thanks, CGA, for all that you do. And I have to speed through these because I wanted the video to be short so people can watch it. Derek says, I saw a video game ninja. I saw a video of a game ninja approaching an 18-year-old girl with her mother. The game ninja hit the daughter with the interrogation questions. The mother stopped him and asked him if he was in school and what he does for a living, proving everything, including the daughters are for sale. Shout out to you. The daughters are for sale. What do you do for a living? All right, don't talk to my daughter, you broke ninja. Ken Rose says, greetings, CGA. I didn't know you streamed on Saturdays. I actually told you earlier this week, or I think yesterday, that I'm going to do a special stream. This is a special stream. I normally chill on Saturday. Shout out to our brother Rush Boogie says, been a long time and a long while since I dropped some support, Coach. Just stopping by to pay some tuition. Rock on. All right. Anybody in disagreement for today's message, go ahead and be in the comment section. Now, listen, do not tell me a goofy disagreement on a point Like Fresh and Fit was demonetized July 2023. We don't care about that shit, you nerd ass nigga. All right. I don't care. Like some of you guys are weirdos in the comments. Like you're disagreeing on some little. I mean, do you disagree with the message? I'm not disagreeing on you. You guys listen to one thing and y'all could be locked in on that shit. You ADD on the spectrum, slow ass motherfuckers, ADHD ass niggas. All right. They literally be concentrated on one point and trying to prove me wrong. And I'm spitting hot motherfucking flames like that nigga on Mario. I'm literally be spitting flames and shit. And this motherfucker's like, well, technically, coach, you on the spectrum ass niggas, red herring ass niggas. What the fuck? Stop being distracted. Stop distracting my stream with that little shit. They be in here be like 5 minutes going in on it too. But coach, I'm like, dude, that ain't even the main point of the goddamn video. Let me keep spitting. Focus, you goofy ass ADD, ADHD ass niggas. Take your Ritalin before you watch me, please. All right, let me stop. I said I wasn't going to rant. I said I wasn't going to rant. But come on, bruh. Stop bringing up that little shit and keep typing it in the chat. Do you actually agree or disagree with the premise, nigga? Do you disagree with the premise? You Fruit of the Loom stain, Snicker stain in the drawers ass niggas. You ain't even took a shower yet, and it's 5 o'clock on the goddamn East Coast. You ain't even got a shower yet. You ain't even did your push-ups. And you in the comment section still trying to drive home a point. And I'm over here cooking. I'm in fuego, and you slowing me down. These niggas still wearing cotton ass panties and shit. All right, I said I wouldn't rage. I wouldn't rant. But this type of stuff in this space has got to go. Y'all literally will hear me spitting. I'm in here spitting. Y'all would take one thing, and it's normally something I say like, oh, something this. And it ain't really a big deal, bruh. It ain't even really that big of a deal. And y'all be on here. This is what I'm talking about in this space. Completely sidetracked it on side quest and shit. Nigga, finish the game. All right, let me stop. All right, goofy. All right, it delegitimizes the space for real, bro. Shout out to our brother here. It is our brother DePaul Dog in the building. Appreciate you, sir. That was from yesterday or this morning. Shout out to our brother Sean John said SRT ninjas. We in the building. Salute, coach. Gas up the SRT. We got our brother Trick Nasty in the building. Says great Saturday stream, coach. Appreciate you. Preston says I noticed I'm only motivated when bad things happen. How can I change this so I can keep the urge to progress and be all around? I actually was thinking of that too. Most of us really need a bad thing to happen to us for us to get our shit right. Right. And that's that. If you're constantly doing that, you will realize that, well, you know, when things are going well, you're going to stop and be demotivated. So one of the things you have to do is put yourself around the right people to realize you got some climbing to do. All right. So I always will put myself against people that, that has more than me or that I aspire to be like. David Torrance says, you better. He says, you better than the game. All right. Shout out to you. What's the game doing right now? What's the game doing right now? But most of us only wake up to life when bad shit happens to us. It's 13-3 Kansas City. All right. The Chiefs are going to win, bro. All right. We already know this. And we know this. Shout out to Gone with John says, them. I'm here. Somebody pretends to like me. Somebody says, I don't know what that says before. The MGTOW, I'm not sure what that says, but he says, you know who. Somebody pretends to like me. Maybe you can clear that up. Cortez says, just tipping the goat, free agent lifestyle for life. Shout out to our brother William Hopkins. William says, thanks for the Saturday show. Thank you for contributing on Saturdays, man. All right, we got our brother Nicholas says, coach, on Saturday, let's go. We gave you some free entertainment today. All right, they leaving the stream. They didn't like the show. The premise, like normally one of these videos are going to get the space talking. I guarantee you. And I had like, let me tell you something. People are going to say, I didn't see it. Dude, I almost had 2,000 viewers in this stream. And the sad part about it is it's going to fall on deaf ears. They were looking for me to beef with somebody, and they were looking for some bullshit. And if anything comes out of this, they were looking for one piece of bullshit that they can run to and start the bullshit. This is what the space has become. They're going to act like they didn't see it. I had almost 2,000 people in here, concurrent viewers. Nobody in this space is getting that. And they're still going to act like they didn't see the motherfucker. They didn't see the thumbnail. They didn't see. And by the way, I only put Andrew Tate and Fresh and Fit and them on there and Pearl because that's who people know. But they're going to act like, oh, no, I didn't see it. What are you talking about? Because they're going to disagree with the message. But they ain't going to have a legitimate disagreement. That's how this space works. Believe me, I've been in here for 10 years. I've been in this space for 10 years. I got everybody pegged down. Pause. I know everybody's bullshit. I know how they work. I know how this space works. We got a lot of cowards. The content creators, cowards. They're not going to react to it. They're not going to even address the shit. The only way they would address it is if I talk shit on Myron, if I talk shit on Pearl, if I talk shit on Andrew Tate, then they would be like, you just jealous. And they would have came in with that bullshit. They would have came in with that bullshit. But really, they ain't going to address it because I called their ass out. Nobody going to be like, not me. All right. They just going, we're going to have to let this shit slide. CGA on this shit again. They always act like they don't see me, but them niggas was here. Content creators was here. They were all here. Look, hold on. Let me tell you something. And they go see the thumbnail. Everybody on this list was in this motherfucking video tonight. Look, everybody in this list seen this video. On a Saturday during the motherfucking NFL playoffs. Everybody on this list was here today. Never, ever. I don't even know who this Araco TV is. But the rest of these guys, everybody saw this shit. And that includes all of you car video niggas, you Red Pill Rage content creator niggas. All of y'all was here today. And they gonna act like and they gonna be on their bullshit back in 2025. You know why? Guess what? They ain't got nothing else to say. I said this space done ran out of shit to talk about. This space done ran out of shit to talk about. So if y'all want something to talk about CGA. You know why they ain't gonna talk about me? Because they viewers gonna run over to my channel and they know it. They gonna run over to my channel and be like, oh, I don't know about this guy. Let me see what he talking about. And I'm gonna take they motherfucking viewers. That's how this space works. But I know these guys. I know them behind the scenes. I know how this space works. They all saw this. And they gonna fucking, because they can't pick out that one thing. Because I didn't say, I'm leaving the Manosphere. I didn't say that one thing. They just gonna be like, and they're gonna be making a reaction video on some beef shit tomorrow with nothing else to talk about. This space, these people don't have shit else to talk about in this space. And it proves it. Every time they fire up their motherfucking video and do a balloon reaction content, they don't have nothing to talk about. This space is cooked in terms of progressing and trying to find something legitimate. Now, me, on the other hand, don't put me in that list because I'm in here cooking y'all motherfuckers right now. All right? I done found something to talk about. I brought the truth.
I can't stand it, though. I can't stand it.
Somebody go say, Coach just mad his viewers are down. How? How my viewers are down? My viewers is up. My viewers higher than everybody. Just as high. Now, the reason they don't go higher after the show is over is because I'm demonetized. But everybody knows when I get on motherfucking live that I'm going to go. So they going to be in here by the 2s and 3s and 4,000s every week, every day. My views ain't down. There ain't nobody with any more subscribers than me that could do this shit. I'm beating you, nigga. Hey, there's people with 800,000 subscribers that wish they could get what I got now. And it's the end of the stream. There's people out here that got a whole message, a video, books, all of that shit. And you can't fire up right now and beat me right now in numbers. The only people that can is Anton because he's adjacent. All right, but I'm going to talk that shit. All right, don't tell me my views is down. My views is way up. You were happy to have my views. Yeah, I'm in my bag right now. You would be happy to have my views on a daily fucking basis. You can't even fire up right now and get the 1.1K. and you monetize. All right, so don't come in here and say I'm jealous of some shit. How? And this is a demonetized channel for 3 years, and I put no original content on this channel for 3 years and still got the 2K, nigga. How? What? How? I ain't even post. I haven't live streamed on this channel in 3 years. Kicked on the fucking stream and got the 2K. Bruh, you can't, man. Don't tell me I'm jealous of somebody else in this space. I'm the king of this fucking space, and it's undeniable. Plus, I ain't got no court case that's sending my ass to jail, and no false allegations, and no fake pregnancies. Fuck you talking about? All right, nigga, don't come in here with that bullshit. You gonna prove me right? All right, that shit is a false motherfucking flag. If you say I'm jealous of anybody in this space, how? How? Where? Hey, Houseway, how? Who would I be jealous of? Niggas, most of these niggas can't even put their face on a video. They so ugly. All right, I said I wouldn't rant, but I'm giving you something. All right. How, Sway? Oh, he old. He old. He jealous. He washed up. How, Sway? How? Explain that. Please explain that. 10 years in this game, 8 years in streaming, and I'm still in here, old ass man. I can barely even look at my phone without putting on a motherfucking bifocal glasses. And I'm over here killing y'all niggas. Houseway. He says, all arguments always retort to you jealous or they making more money. That's always going to do. This is why this space is cooked. They're going to prove exactly that. This space is cooked. The Manosphere destroyed itself. Right? It ain't the outside world. It wasn't the feminists. It wasn't the censorship. It was literally y'all. Us. Let me say that. Us. It was us. We did it to ourselves. And the Mitch ass ninjas, they gonna prove me right. Look. See, dude, I tell you, man, I look at it and go, a lot of people are slow than a motherfucker. A lot of y'all slow. A lot of y'all super duper slow. Isn't Coach part of the Manosphere? These people come in the stream for 10 minutes and type on the fucking keyboard and didn't listen to nothing I said. And this is why this space is fucking full of losers. I called you out. You losers don't listen to shit. I swear you guys are hard-headed, you thick in the head, you earwax in the head ass Mitches. You don't listen to shit. You come in here, you think you know what the fuck you talking about with your shit from Wiener Schnitzel coming up. You got to work through midnight tonight, and you have the nerve to type in my keyboard, type in my chat. If you don't just sit your short bus ass down and shut the fuck up, and let me cook and teach your little thick-headed ass so you can get the dandruff out of your hair and get back to your shift at Wiener Schnitzel, and you had a nerve to come in here and talk and ask questions. Listen to the fucking stream, you slow, short bus ass ninja. Red pill rager for 10 years ass ninja. What is wrong with these men? I swear to God. Stop typing in my chat. And listen. Stop typing in my chat and listen. And get some head and shoulders and shit and clean the boogers out of your nose. What the hell is going on, bruh? These people drive me crazy. Then they want to be like trying to say something in here and they ain't listen to 10 minutes of the video when I iron out my case. See, this is the problem I have. I'm not a goddamn clip reactor video coach. I have put very few clips in here. But you short attention span that just want to see clips and drama. But I ironed out my case with thoroughness and conviction. And then your dumb slow roast ass want to come in here with some bullshit. Stop typing in my goddamn chat. Stomach double over your belt ass ninjas, man. I'm tired of these guys, man. All right, anyway. I mentioned the depth of the Manosphere in the Royal Rumble video back then. Yep. I'm telling people, I called this. I said, this space, the men are going to eat each other paws. I said the space is going to go down on the men. Hey, man, but look, I still got some supporters to acknowledge, man. This going to be a 2-hour stream. I didn't want it to be. All right. My bad. Boy, is this from yesterday? This is today? Why y'all donating so much? Maryland guy said, you should call today Mitch Slapping Saturday. Shout out to you with these Mitch ass ninjas, man, I'll tell you. Shout out to Dennis, says much respect for all you do and much respect for you shouting out Ringo from Black Male Advice TV. He was crucial to my development back in 2016. You're crucial to me now, the GOAT. Shout out to him. And shout out to you. Appreciate you, man. We're going to keep it going. We're going to keep the message going. You're going to lose subscribers, coach. I hope the Mitch ass ninjas leave. Please. I've been begging y'all to leave me for a long time, and y'all still here with y'all bullshit, but I get it. It's the best entertainment on YouTube. Nobody else beat me in here. KT King, the scamdemic, was a huge factor in the peak of the Manosphere and in interest in it at that time and period that you referenced a few minutes ago. That's true too, yes. So the pandemic led to a lot of people finding this space. But, you know, a lot of people didn't stay. And there's reasons why. I ironed them out. Jay Moore says, coffee for coach on his day off. Thank you for your overtime Manosphere breakdown and being a speaker of truth. All right. I want to see the content creators react to this. I want to see what they say. He says, I thought KS was talking about the Mode 1 book, not yours, even though your shit was all on his podcast and practicing methods like free agent lifestyle, and he used and reinvested and reinvented yourself and became high value male, and you can't cheat the game. And his uncle was a pimp. Very similar talking points. Both were awesome to me. No, I'm saying he read from a book and didn't give credit to someone else. It wasn't me. All right, but I did talk to him behind the scenes. I have respect for him, mad respect for him. So I have no criticism. And H Everyday says, what the F, coach, doing a Saturday? I must be sleeping. Let me send some money and see if he acknowledges me. This better not be some NWO AI-ish. And yes, I look at some of these content creator thieves and think they are all bootlickers and nanny goaters. And yes, massa boss ass ninjas. The system doesn't work without dissent and betrayal and backstabbing. Wow. It doesn't work without it. But I'm going to say this again for the people who are slow. Nobody else. You guys are going to always say Abba and preach, Abba and preach. And yes, Abba and preach definitely has gone above and beyond to discredit a few members of the Manosphere. A few. I mean, I'll only will say 4. I might be wrong. It's only been 4 of them. And they get a lot of views for doing it. So it is what it is. However, this space has Abba and preached itself way more than Abba and preach has Abba and preached it. And I ain't even defending them. I'm cool with Abba and preach. They ain't said shit about me. I'm pretty sure they will at some point, but it is what it is. I said this space has done Abba and preach 80 times over. 80 times over. Y'all give Abba and preach the ammunition and shit. I'm pretty sure content creators in this space have contacted Abba and preach, and some of you Mitches have contacted Abba and preach to literally react to content creators you don't like. Tell me I ain't lying. Tell me I ain't lying. I will bet you a steak dinner that men in this space have got on their Instagram or wherever you contact them, if they have a group of people where y'all suggest video, I guarantee that creators themselves had tried to get them to become pit bulls against creators in this space. I guarantee it. It ain't even close, fam. Peace to the saint. Shout out to the saint in the building. I appreciate you for being out here in the chat. Shout out to you. Peace to the saints. And then, you know, people think, you know, look, Saint brought me into his house and we did a nice collab. And guess what? I see in the comment sections, Mitch is bitching. right? Mitch is bitching. Like, how in the hell y'all creating beef against us? And we acted like pure gentlemen with each other the entire time. Like, this is what I don't like about this space, is that we can have two point of views where we agreed to disagree and had a civil conversation. Neither of us shot darts at each other. We didn't go after the video and make hit pieces on each other. Nothing. And we sat down, man. This guy right here, he sat down, he met with us. And like a lot of other content creators, they only meet with each other to do content. Okay. They only meet with each other to do content. We met to have dinner and respect each other. Like, we are doing shit differently, man. There's people that do shit differently, like men. And there's people that do shit. We're trying to use each other for content. And then when they record the video, after the fact, they go and diss the other person by name. They cut a clip in a video. How many people have done that? How many people have done that in this space where they were literally on a live stream together, and then after the show went off, them ninjas ran right up immediately, like 2 weeks later, they was all buddy. 2 weeks later, they was cutting diss videos, and you were like, wait a minute, y'all was sitting in the same room. Y'all was sitting in the same room. Y'all were right there together. Y'all were holding hands and shit. Yep, doxing them. So this is the difference. He's here, respect. Dude, we have a difference of opinion on how to conduct ourselves, but we're 90% in alignment. But people in this space want all of us to be fighting each other. They want all of us, because we disagree on one little thing, to be fighting each other. We can have a disagreement about it, but we don't have to be at that level. It makes no sense as to why that happens. It is mind-boggling, like mind-boggling, how y'all can be in the same room and then you have two groups of audiences that are agreeing on 90%. Then after the stream, everybody is going crazy and bitching. It is like, so we disagree. It's okay, bro. It's not a big deal. But we were gentlemen about our disagreement. We were solid. And where we disagreed, we were like, hey, we're gentlemen about it. But before we even got to the podcast, we met for dinner. We hung out. All right. We kicked it. We talked to each other. We respected each other. He invited me there. All right. He said, hey, he's a representative of Las Vegas. All right. And shout out to him, man. That's what we talk about. Y'all don't want to see that. This space does not want to see that. This space wants to see men at each other's neck for their own amusement and boredom. Shout out to Pro Man, says there's a video of a Russian. Oh, I saw this. A Russian Ukrainian soldier engaging in a 10-minute knife battle. That puts the idea of a man into perspective. You're an Air Force combat vet, and that's the real Manosphere. That's a fact. Apparently, it was a fight to the death. It was a fight to the death. And so, yeah, man, I haven't seen the full video, but apparently it's a fight to the death. KT King, shout out to you. Good afternoon, CGA. Please continue to Mitch slap these weak men amongst us and riff. When you riff, you provide guidance on topics I would have asked questions about in a coaching call. Thank you for being a quality masculine mentor for me since April 3rd, 2018, an original Coach Gang member for life. Shout out to you, man. Yes. For life. Somebody said link up with Aaron Clary. I think we linking up. Oh damn, we were supposed to this weekend. I think I dropped the ball, but we were supposed to go on a hike out here in Vegas. All right, so and we'll get together and do a show. I'm pretty sure. J. Cool says all right. He says an entire show on Saturday about these Mitch ass ninjas. All right, shout out to the Mitch ass ninjas out here, man. Mitch is getting cooked in 2025. I'm gonna lead the parade, and they gonna be mad. Shout out to our brother here, Luigi. Is that you, Luigi? Uh-oh. He says, to my favorite African-American, one question, why do many people never respond or never reach out and then complain about how depressed and lonely they are? Are they clowns? Truly yours, Luigi. All right. Hopefully you ain't got the gat on you, but people never reach out or respond. And then they say they're lonely. Yeah. People do. Well, I think people don't want to seem desperate. I just think that's what it is. People don't want to seem desperate. All right. And so they don't want to seem like they're needy or desperate or something like that. So they don't reach out to other men and other women and all that. Shout out to Nicholas says, Coach on Saturday, let's go. I think we're almost done. I got a couple more. Leo K says, this was a fucking masterclass. It's an absolute privilege to watch a master at work. Enjoy the rest of your day off, Coach. Shout out to you. That's a co-sponsorship.
I'm rich, bitch.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Shout out to this brother says, this stream is analytical. Can't disagree with many points being made here. Shout out to you. Yeah, I try to be thorough in my presentation. I try to be thorough and prepared. All right. Saint is another thorough guy. He prepares. I try to be thorough and prepare with my message. This is why it really pisses me off when people just get sidetracked. That's why it pisses me off as a content creator when people get sidetracked or they get trying to create a beef or they're like, you too, nigga. Like, just sit down and listen. This is a master class. It's thorough. It really doesn't leave much room for disagreement other than somebody said Thai City is here. Somebody said Thai City is here. Shout out to Thai City. Other than Shane Blaine Explain or whatever you want to call it, SBE, other than people just going to bring it back down to low frequency. He jealous. You did it too, nigga. You a bitch ninja. You wish you. Like, people just going to bring it down to low frequency. That's the only way you're going to dissect this shit. That's the only way you're going to try to beat this. And you ain't going to beat it. You're going to prove my point. So that's really what's critical. It's going to prove my point as to why the Manosphere destroyed itself. Remember, the premise of the video, how the Manosphere destroyed itself. Your bitch ass going to come in here with some bullshit. And I'm going to say, case in point, nigga. Case in point. You listen to nothing I said. You were looking for something to disagree with, instead of listening to the thorough message and appreciation. This was right and exact, and I am patting my own back. What are you disagreeing with? What could you possibly disagree with legitimately? Nothing. I was right. There's nothing that you could disagree with. You're just going to disagree with me or something that you don't like about me. Okay, that's fine. That's completely fine. But motherfucker, I broke this shit down like a fraction. All right. And I warned you. He says, I warned you that this would happen. And guys, it's happening. Demo her says, I'm divorced I divorced my ex at 35. She got another bull in the ring, never had a kid. So I am blessed never again with getting married. All right. My mother asked me that today. My mother I don't know why she asked me that, but she said, I asked her about my grandmother. And it was something going on. And she was like, oh, her husband. And she was like, dang, she was like, I would never do that. And I was like, okay. She said, would you get married again? So she actually asked me that today. She already knew the answer. Obi-Wan says, ABBA from ABBA and Preach did that Fresh and Fit, LOL. What did they do to Fresh and Fit? He said they did that to Fresh and Fit. That is how their beef started. They did a critique after appearing on their show. All right. So that's what happened. Okay, so they went to the show, then did a critique, and that's how the beef started. So it's much more than, I think at that point, it's much more than they hate the Manosphere. People think they hate the Manosphere. I disagree, because as much as you might think they hate the Manosphere, I think they don't like certain people in the Manosphere. Like I said, they haven't taken down the entire space. Now, they will say things like the red pill is dead and they don't like it. However, I've seen them do videos the next day that would seem like a Manosphere video, right? It would seem like a Manosphere video because they're reacting to some feminist or some skeezer. So I'm like, I don't think they don't dislike it. I just think they don't like certain people. But it is kind of them going in on the entire space at the end of it, because their comment section is going to validate, yeah, these fake alphas and right. Shout out to our brother here. Todd T says, great content. Thanks. Appreciate you. You watch on YouTube. No excuse. Michael says, Coach, at the end of the day, the majority of these content creators want women, which is why most of the beef exists, as if there isn't enough women to go around. You are 100% correct. I think I see that too. Like one of the worst things you could do in this space as a content creator is put yourself up with a woman. Like if I put a picture up on a thumbnail with me with a woman, these ninjas gonna go crazy. crazy. And I know this. I'm like, these people can't handle it. They're going to go nuts. They're going to look for the girl on social media. These niggas going to be reverse image searching the woman, bringing her up, saying I'm a simp, I'm a bitch ass. They're going to go crazy. And I know that. I'm like, these men can't handle it. They will go nuts. Yeah, I went to Brazil and people lost their mind. I was like, bruh, I literally traveled years before that. I've been traveling my whole life. But in their mind, I went to Brazil on a passport bro mission, which much of it was. But I was going to Brazil because that's where I wanted to go. Now, when I went to Italy, nobody said I was on passport bro. I was out here tricking. And I was still getting pussy out there in Italy. Everybody knew that. Something about them was weird. But when I went to the DR, I went to the DR in 2018. That was before they were here. So they couldn't criticize it. They didn't know about that trip. But that was a passport bro shit in 2018. Like, dudes can't handle it in this space. So for some reason, going to Barcelona, no big deal. Going to Brazil, set the fire alarm off. They were like, oh, look at him. He's going traveling and he's going. Like, it's an absolute, and this isn't just one people, it's a lot of people in this space that are on some Mitch red pill rage shit. I see content creators putting women on their thumbnails and, men can't handle it. They don't want to see people win. This competitive thing that I talked about, this constantly bringing down of the most prominent voices in this space, as if I didn't do anything for you. And this the thanks I get. You know what I mean? Like, really? Is this what it boils down to? It comes down to this. This is why this space is weak sauce. This is why this space is weak sauce. Hey, man, the space can only be as strong as the weakest link. But this space is motherfucking weak sauce. All right, across the fucking board. There's too many people in here that are on some red pill rage, crazy ass shit. They want to see you at Wiener Schnitzel. Right? Am I lying? Men be on some weirdo shit out here, bro. And it's like, what the fuck is going on? All right, Justin O says, a pack is at its strongest together. He says this space has to think bigger than just reaction and car videos. He says, could you have amazing how? I think you meant could have been. You got me reading wrong. I read wrong all the time. But he says, could have been amazing how unstoppable this space would have been if every creator banded together. It would have been more than just KS getting deleted. And yeah, like people couldn't handle me going to speak at certain conferences, which I want to clear up since you guys are watching it. I spoke at the CME, Donovan Sharp, and I spoke at the 21 convention. People were making a big deal about this, and people didn't hear what happened. And this stream is now at the 2-hour mark. I apologize. I went to 21 convention first, and I went to the CME. But at the time, people didn't know that there was a breakdown between the two organizers. But the breakdown happened after I committed to both of those events. So when people start seeing me at one event and at the other, people were like, oh, what is he doing? There's some crazy shit going on, right? And people start saying, other content creators that didn't like this event planner were dissing me. And then that same creator, it was Rollo Tomasi. Rollo Tomasi was mad that I was speaking at 21 convention. Okay, because even I didn't know this. When I agreed to speak, let me just tell the entire story. I agreed to speak at the 21 convention. At the time, Anthony Johnson called me. I didn't know who he was, but I thought he was associated with Rollo and Rich Cooper because the previous year they were the speakers. Then Anthony called me and he said, hey, I want you to speak there. And I was like, damn. I was like, you want me to go in there with Rich and all these other people? And I thought it was PUAs. I didn't know. So then Donovan Sharp, I had his number and I said, Donovan, I called Donovan because Donovan, we reached out and we were cool. Donovan, who spoke at the 21 the previous year, said, yeah, Anthony's cool. He said Anthony Johnson is cool. Like, think about how behind the scenes this shit is. He said Anthony Johnson is cool. And he says, in fact, I'll get on a conference call between me, you, and Anthony, and we could talk about it. This was a year before I took the stage in Orlando. So this is how crazy shit going. So I was like, all right, I'll go. But then that's when I found out Anthony and Rolo and them fell out. So I was like, oh, I really didn't know what was going on behind the scenes because I was concerned about even going there with them. But then I was like, oh, y'all fell out? I didn't know nothing. So me, Donovan, and Anthony on the same conference call. So then that was, 10 months before there was the 21 convention. So that's 10 years before I even took the stage. Now, something weird happened. Something weird happened. What happened was Donovan said he's going to do his own version of the event. Now, this was after I committed to 21. So I'm already committed to going to it. But then Donovan calls me and said, I'm going to do my own event. I didn't know Anthony was going to be pissed. I said, that's cool. He said, you want to speak at it? I said, yep. So I'm committed to both of them. Little did I know, Anthony didn't like the fact that Donovan's doing this event. He didn't like it. I didn't know. I had no clue. I was on a motherfucking conference call with him 3 months before. I didn't realize. I'm not thinking. I'm just sitting there like, okay, you want me to speak? I'll go. You want me to speak? I'll go. I'm not thinking about all of this high school beef and who hate each other. I'm not even thinking about it. But of course, the internet doesn't know this. So the internet seeing this 10 months later as the event progresses and I take the stage, then I take the stage at Donovan's event, you guys are all perplexed, confused, conspiracy theories are going everywhere. And I'm like, I don't know. So Rolo's mad at me. He cuts a diss video on me because I go to 21. The rest of the world that hates Donovan cuts a diss video on me because how could I speak at 21 and go to CME? And I'm like, I'm perplexed. I'm literally just doing my podcast and just trying to get some exposure. I'm perplexed. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Then Anthony cuts a crazy video on Donovan. I'm like, oh my God, I'm stuck in the middle. I'm stuck in the middle. And so people are like, what is he doing? And he doing this and he about this. And I'm like, this is too much. So guess what? The next 21 comes up. I go to the 21 convention. Anthony invites me back. He's like, you did good. You did good. You want to come back? I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm coming back. Then Donovan calls me and says, you want to come back to the next CME? And I was like, yeah, I'll come back. So people are still in this high school drama shit, but I'm like, I'll go to both. Anthony's cutting off everybody that goes to the second CME, and he doesn't cut me off because I just was new. So he didn't cut me off. And we had a conversation about it. He was like, yeah, I'm cool with you. The rest of these guys are traitors. So I'm like, I ain't in it. Right? I ain't in the shit. Right? So I'm like, hey, man, bro, I ain't in it. I ain't picking sides. I'm just trying to get me some exposure. Then Rolo Tomasi tells Donovan to not let me speak at the CM motherfucking E. I was like, Donovan calls me and says, since I spoke at the second 21 convention, Rolo doesn't want to do the, Donovan says he doesn't want to be the keynote speaker. Rolo's the keynote speaker at the second CME. But because I spoke at 21 twice, Rolo doesn't want me to be at the CME. I was like, man, I'm done with you, nigga. So I said, this is the last one. I said, I'm going to speak at one more event and I'm done with everybody. I'm done. Because, like, I didn't do shit. Like, what did I do? Right? So, and I keep all of that a secret. There's a lot of behind the scenes shit that goes on. And I just want to do my show. And I could have cut a video on everybody about this. And I was just like, man, this Manosphere shit is for the birds. But then you want me to stick up for y'all, bro. Y'all want me to stick up for y'all and fight for men's issues and shit like this. And behind the scenes, So I'm seeing this amazing breakdown between Anthony, Rolo, Donovan, and I'm stuck in the middle of it. And I'm like, I don't really care about either one of this shit. I need some videos of me speaking on the stage, which was great because Anthony had a great production. So his clips made me go viral. In fact, if you look it up, I have millions of views on this channel. All right, just on his clips alone, because his production is by far the best. Unfortunately, I look at it and say, that's an example of having something great in the men's space, not supporting it over some bullshit. Over really bullshit. Why didn't we make 21 Studios the best fucking place for men to speak? Because believe it or not, it legitimizes content creators. Now, whatever politics the men in this space have proves my point, but his clips of me speaking on stage brought me so much legitimacy as a content creator because people are like, hey, this guy's speaking in public. He's speaking in front of an audience. Those clips legitimize the Manosphere speakers. They legitimize you because you're not just doing a car video. You're not in your basement. You're not doing that, right? You're on a stage, you're on a mic with lighting and the stage and audience, and you're legitimized. And people have found me. I was in Brazil and the guy was like, hey, you're that guy that does speeches. He doesn't know about my podcast or anything. He says, you're that guy that does speeches on, and he couldn't even remember what I talked about. He didn't even know my name. He just remembers that he saw me in a legitimate space speaking and that, right? So that's an example of what I said earlier. We never allow things to see itself through, but the men in this space will do everything they can to bring that type of thing down. They'll cut videos against Anthony and against Donovan and against anybody trying to make the space legitimate and better. When somebody said, why do people need teams? Anthony Johnson had an incredible team of people. He wasn't recording the videos. He had a mic guy, an audio guy, a lighting guy. He had a hotel. He had a stage. He had 3 different hotel venues. And people are like, why do we need that? The space needs to be legitimate. And in my opinion, we missed the window because it's too late to legitimize it now. It's the redhead stepchild of the YouTube. It's too late. You had a chance between 2021 and 2023 with the momentum that the space gained to legitimize then. If you legitimize at that point, it would have been hard to take down because everybody would have had legitimate presentation. But everybody needs to realize this is a business. This isn't for us to heal red pill ragers. This isn't why we need to continue to do this. It needs to be legitimized for it to be taken seriously. At this point, it can't be taken seriously. That's why the Manosphere defeated itself. It destroyed itself because the men didn't want to see Anthony legitimize his thing. Donovan legitimize his thing. Nobody has a team. Fresh and Fit has a team. Fuck them. They're going to go broke. They can't pay them. Nah, boo-boo. You see what I'm saying? Like nobody wanted to take it to a legitimate position. You all wanted to stay in the car video in the basement and work that shit out for Red Pill Ragers just on some moral shit, some moral crusade. Just to make you feel better. And meanwhile, watch that person for 5-10 years straight and never donate anything. And then when you ask for a donate, you begging for donation, you grifting. That's why the Manosphere destroyed itself. If you're mad at that and you're disagreeing with it, that's your own personal problem. But you're going to prove me right in the comment section with that point of contention. When you disagree with that, you're going to prove me right. You would rather destroy it. Even though you need it on a daily basis, you watch YouTube every day. You need it. You couldn't go a day without watching fucking YouTube Manosphere content. But no, hell, we ain't gonna let nobody get up. We ain't gonna let nobody win. Fuck that. Y'all don't need to get paid. Fuck y'all. Proves my point. Man, let me get to these last ones. I can't wait. Somebody needs to dissect this. By the way, this space missed the window. Another window's not coming. So anybody that thinks, oh, we could try it better. No, it's over. You fucked it up. Male jealousy, hating, envy, backbiting, backstabbing. It fucked it up. The space will never be legit. It's never going to legitimize. You had a window. KS opened the door and kicked it open, and y'all fucked it up. It's just going to be car video and motherfucking pimple-faced niggas, all right, trying to drag down the content creator thinking they have some sort of control. They ain't going to let nobody get up. They ain't going to let nobody get a bag. Other content creators going to fucking report their videos because they ain't getting no views. So in terms of that, in terms of the peak, the Manosphere is done. Now, the Manosphere just will return to surface-based level like it was at in 2017, 2016. And other content creators will just pivot out of it when they see a bigger bag somewhere else. And y'all will crab in the barrel that motherfucker too. Any content creator that tries to pivot out, you'll crab in the barrel that person too. And you'll continue to stamp Manosphere all over that person. And you don't want them to better up. Am I telling the truth here? Am I telling the truth? I'm just here to tell the truth. The Manosphere missed the window, and it's just going to go way below where Fresh and Fit and Pearl and Kevin reached. And because you disagree with them, you'll say, well, that's fine. Well, those are the people that were just going to go, or they were insiders. They were not insiders. They were outsiders. But it ain't going above that anymore. There's no next Manosphere hero. Oh, by the way, Andrew Tate keeps getting left out of this conversation. Him too. He did a lot of good and damage at the same time. All right, getting arrested and saying he's a pimp and shit, and right. I mean, for all he did, it was not good. But that's it. People just gonna come in, take the points, and dip. All right, and they're gonna go to Instagram and blow up saying shit we said in 2015. That's it. All right. Anyway, we got our brother here. Law the Mighty says, I really don't watch any Manosphere guys anymore besides you. It's the same regurgitated complaining about women. He says, if people pay attention, you talk about real world issues, blue chip mentality, and thorough conversations of building a life outside of a woman. So I've really tried to advance the conversation pretty much. I haven't tried to pivot out of it, but I've definitely tried to advance some conversation. I give you a little bit of everything on my show, but the main event almost inevitably is going to be centered around relationships. So that's always going to be what I center the conversation around. Now, maybe I'll smarten up and just say, fuck that too. All right. But, you know, it is what it is. Kim Rose says, my apologies, CGA. I was late to the stream and I missed yesterday's announcement. No problem, man. Tony over here. Okay, Zio, what's up, coach? There are rumors that Diddy and the billionaires started the fires in LA to restart LA to build a new city called Smart LA to cover up their demonic stuff in Hollywood. Do you agree? I don't believe it was wildfires. Way too suspicious. I don't think they mind that it burned up. That's the truth. Shout out to Vaughn says, shout out to the coach. Everything new I do or achieve in life, I'm reminded by a jealous Mitch of what I used to be. He says, F them, coach. Pedal to the metal on they lazy asses. 100%. No excuse, Rocky. Cage says, but coach, I don't pay for women. I got my mouthpiece game working. He says, what's up, coach? I'm late to the show. I'm glad you're here because I'm definitely not into football today. Your team must be out. He says, salute to you, brother. And I think we got a couple more, man. Shout out to Black Men in the Suburbs. Content creators are legit afraid to pivot to their own content because people like entertainment, not logic. He says, you can't disagree with the message coach is putting out. He's absolutely right. This had to be the most critical critique of this space. Much needed, too. It wasn't a diss of this space. It wasn't a beef. I know you loser niggas is going to try to make beef against this. He beefing. He called these people out. I told you the truth. All right, but 100%, man. This needed to come from within the space. This needed to come within the space. And I challenge any content creator, give us your perspective of this space from that space. And by the way, look, content creators, the fucking losers that be loud in your we gonna leave and unsubscribe. Please. Them guys are losers. I've challenged people in this space, the losers. They be loud as a motherfucker. We gonna unsubscribe and you gonna lose your audience. I literally put up a ticker of my subscribers during the chat, during the live stream. And I say, okay, Mitch ass ninjas, let's see if my subscribers go down while you hear bitching with your tampon string falling out your Duke shoe. And by the end of the stream, the subscribers went up. They didn't go down. It don't work like that. See, a lot of times these red pill guys always was afraid of their audience. They would lose their audience and they're going to lose their AdSense. I ain't there. Okay. I ain't there. I'm not one of these guys. What I'm saying is they think they have power. They don't got power. They don't realize that a lot of people, there's a silent majority and there's a loud minority in this space of people that just don't want to progress. It's a loud minority. And they loud as a motherfucker. And they think they got control over you and control over your content and control over your income and shit like that. Content creators, stop being scared of these Mitch ass ninjas. All right. And even if they do leave and cause a stink and flare up, them bitch ass ninjas don't have the discipline to put out enough diss videos on you. Okay. They'll put out 1 or 2 fucking diss videos and they'll go back to jerking off. They'll go back to 1 or 2 diss videos and hide in the fucking shadows. They don't got the discipline to carry on because I'm out content produce them and my group is going to continue to grow. They're going to get 158 views and think they did something. Meanwhile, they got to unplug their tampon string in the morning. And they're going to be back to a hater, bitch made ass male at the end of the day. All right. Just loud. And they're like, they one motherfucking subscriber. They think it's like 11 niggas in here that think like them. And everybody in the house are trying to grow. And they ain't here causing the scene talking about we gonna go tell Hammerhead. Fuck that nigga too. All right. Ain't nobody got time for him and his 88 people in this stream to figure out what these guys think about. And they run over to them niggas and be like, he talking this and he do all like, okay, go ahead. Y'all got 200 people in your stream tonight that's going to be mad at CGA. They wasn't watching anyway. They stopped watching me a long time ago. Just on GP. This is what happens in this space. That's what they do. And then them niggas get riled up and they start making videos on me. All right. And then they make videos that I don't see. Just gossiping ass niggas. You know what I mean? These gossiping Mitch ass ninjas. Ninjas saying who? Exactly. Who? All right. Ain't never heard of this nigga. Exactly, bro. And they go run and tell him and they be in my comment section big up in him. I'll be like, bro, I don't even know who you talking about, bro. All right. Anyway. It'd be people that like that. And then he get in his car and it'd be windows fogging up and steaming. All right. And then he be in there talking shit. Like, I'm like, and then they want to send me the clip of it. I'm like, why am I watching this shit? Like, bruh, I got almost 400,000, 500,000 subscribers on this platform. I ain't even. Then they tag Abba and preach. Get him. Shout out to Pug Dad says, glad to be here in Vegas with you and the Saint, 2 class act men that give knowledge and valuable information on how men should become men. He says, I'll keep y'all up top in the valet while all the bitch ninjas get redirected to self-parking. Shout out to Pug Dad. All right, down there at the valet. All right, appreciate you, brother. Damn, y'all still donate, man. Chill. I'm trying to go, man. Appreciate the support. I'm trying to go home. Jamal says your stream about male jealousy explains a lot about why this space is filled with losers. People are so jealous of those who have more. And that, I mean, it's wild. And that story I told you about the CME and the 21 Studios, it literally happened. It happened exactly like that. So, and I didn't jump on YouTube to complain about it. That shit was been 2 years since then. I just shook my head like this. So when y'all tell me to collab with these people literally backstab me and all that. They did the most egregious shit, man to man. And y'all be like, collab with him and he better than you, coach. I'll be like, bruh. I'll just be shaking my head like, never again. That's when I call myself the king of kings. I was like, ain't nobody above me in this space. I don't care how many motherfucking books they wrote or nothing. I was like, ain't nobody else bigger than me at this point. I was like, these ninjas is wild. All right. We got our brother here. Who left the super chat? Shout out to our brother Cordic. Says, Coach, is your favorite Gen Z one of the young men who is going to win because I never doubted you, my dear sir. You are a mentor to me. I worship you. Hey, he says, when I make some money, I will send a $500 and a $100 Canadian money. It pains me to see when you said these Mitches feast off of your famine. Hate seeing men I love lose like my dad and you. Please excuse this engineering student brokey for this pittance, please, sir. Do not forsake your true supporter for those Mitches. Keep pushing. He says, keep crushing their panties, pause, and their testicles scrunched up in their pelvis. Love you, coach. Appreciate you, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Don't worry about that, man. I appreciate the support. And I think I got everybody. I know people are saying they donated via PayPal, but it looks like I tried to get everybody. And I didn't want y'all to be spending this much time super chatting. I only wanted to be here 30 minutes. Shout out to but here we are 2 hours and 30 minutes later. I can't keep it short. I can't keep it short. We got some more. Holy mackerel. All right. I appreciate y'all. Tyler says, found you a few months after seeing the collab you did with Joker a few years ago and got hooked. Thanks for everything you do, CGA. And everybody will get hooked on my program for sure if they keep talking about me. Appreciate Lawrence the Destroyer. He says he only watches me. A Jedi says, would you say that men have no chance? Because I've seen light-skinned sisters go eat fried chicken in Vegas, have millions of views. And when women talk red pill, men flocked and paid. He says maybe have a night show with some hot Vegas chicks. I don't think I want to do that. All right. But yes, I've seen people where I'm talking over here. No super chat. I go to the next person's stream, lead attorney, $500 to that nigga. All right. I'm like, and I know the guy. I'm like, you in my stream. They was in the comment section in the live chat. They was in the live chat of my stream. No donation. Lead attorney get up. It's the lead attorney. Shout out to the lead attorney. Lead attorney fire up. Pearl fire up. The motherfucking all kind of woman fired up. Tree fire up. $500 to Tree. I'm like, hold up. Hold up. You was in my stream chatting the whole time, dominating. You got a wrench. You go to their chat over there. I'm like, hold up. Then come back. What's up, coach? All right, anyway, it happens. All right, anyway. But yeah, Pearl fire up, $800 super chat to Pearl. You in my live chat all day, in my live chat, nothing. Cynthia G, $800. Fresh and Fit, $600. CGA, nothing. AV with the pretty feet, Puerto Rican with the pretty feet, AV, $600 super chat. CGA, nothing. You're like, fuck CGA. Fuck that nigga. He got enough already. But y'all go to AV with the network feet, whatever her name is. Shout out to AV. Hey, AV, are you single? What you doing? All right, anyway. AV know I like her Puerto Rican ass. That Puerto Rican. All right. $2 to me, though. All right. Shout out to Abdul says, Mitch ass ninjas let they feelings get ahead of the message. Please tell them to shut they bitch ass up. And I want to hear some people.
Shut your bitch ass up.
I got to get out of here, man. Shout out to our brother here. And it is JB says you are appreciated, coach. Thank you. I know Lil CGA is proud to be your son. Shout out to the coach gang. Keep winning on purpose, fam. Free agent lifestyle for life. Yes, indeed. Where we at here? Free agent lifestyle for life.
For life.
All right. Yeah, Mika. Where Mika at? Mika out there. She was like, hey, CGA. I was like, what Mika look like? Let me see your picture. All right. She sound like she look good too. Oh, my brother here. It is Kane. C-Puck says Rolo is a joke totally, and he's completely irrelevant and has no idea what he's talking about because he's married to an older woman. CGA is the true voice of the space. Coach Gang, appreciate you. And that's the last time I mention these guys on my show, by the way. Magnificent Adrian says, found your channel after seeing your infamous video of you and your ex. Been here ever since. Thanks, Coach. Yeah, I had to take that down. All right, but that was according to the law. She put that in the legal proceedings. All right. But yeah, man, shout out to you. I think I got everybody. Appreciate that, man. I gotta get out of here, man. I gotta get up out of here. All right, I gotta go. I want y'all to go too, man. I want y'all to go have a great Saturday. All right, we done. Peace out. Shout out to y'all. Thank you for listening, man. And peace.
Vibe blowing at the jack, got the loud jumping at the bag. Everything I'm on slack. Everything I do is got the band jumping at the bag. Vibe blowing at my jack, got the loud jumping at the bag. Everything I'm on slack.
We've been with the Brazilians. This would be the first.
They wild, I think.
I'm innocent.
Bro, you hear that guy?